Sonny Boy is really shaping up to be something spectacular. To the beautiful artwork. And I know everybody has their own preferences, and not everybody's going to think like this artwork looks really good. They might think it's simplistic or not to their taste, but to me, I really just love the way the backgrounds kind of bring out so much different life and different emotion from it, and just seeing how the characters are in a setting of a beach, it's a complete contrast in comparison to the first episode of Sonny Boy, because like the first episode, they were in a school building and a void-like area, like just darkness around them, and then this episode, the whole background and setting is in the woods or on a beach, and I'm just like, it's a really nice change of pace, and I do like how the environment actually can shift in this story, so we're not confined to just like one area, we're not confined to the school, we're not confined into the void, we can go into many different areas, and I am curious to see what the next world has in store for them as the series progresses. But before I go into anything, like the character interactions, all that, there's one character I do want to discuss, and that is this little dude right here. This guy, he's a villain. Like, I'm just going to say right now, I'm going to call it here right now. He is going to turn out to be potentially the main antagonist of Sonny Boy. Or up there. He's going to be either below the main antagonist or the main antagonist. Because just his entire interaction with the class and every character he encounters is so suspicious and odd. Like, one of the things that's just very obvious is, like, when he starts talking, when all of a sudden you hear this, like, adult alien-like voice start to speak briefly, and nobody really acknowledges it, but obviously we, as the audience watching, we hear it, and it's just like, what's going on there? And it happened in the last episode as well, and nobody really acknowledged it either, so I feel like it's tied to whatever power he has, because we don't really know what power that character actually has at this current time. However, if I had to make an assumption, whatever he's actually using, I believe he has the ability to understand how the world works. And the reason why I think that is because when we think about the first episode, he was able to understand how kind of penalties worked, how that whole system around that worked, and he used it against people, even though he wasn't elected as, let's say, the class president, which basically shows that he knew something that nobody else did. In this episode, it seemed like he also knew things that nobody else did. Like, we even see in the past, he was able to gather information without actually, like, what normal means would be. Like, he actually went around and went through some legal matters because he was a rich kid to be able to dig up dirt on Mizuho. So it lets us know that he has the ability to gather information. He has the ability to know certain things that the average folk wouldn't. And I feel like that definitely applies to his ability. I feel like his ability, especially throughout this episode, he's leading people on down a different direction, especially with how he allows people to take control and he stands behind the scenes. It's kind of like this. If you're a mastermind, a villain, good villains, I think, don't necessarily always want to be in the main forefront spotlight. They want to have someone that can take the fall for them and be the person that looks like they're doing everything. While the true mastermind will be behind the scenes, being the puppeteer, playing with the strings to manipulate everyone. And I feel like that's kind of what he is. He's someone that has twice now allowed people to take charge over him. Like, we have, I think her name is Pony or whatever. She actually is like, the actual leader of the student council. And then in the previous episode, the first episode, the guy that was kind of the big dumb guy, he literally actually was the leader for a while, and, he took over in charge, and, you'd think the kid would have been the leader. He gives off that vibe, but obviously he wasn't. And it's clear by the way he's kind of presenting this, is that he doesn't want, people to target him, and he doesn't want people to realize that he's doing these despicable things. He wants it to fall on the others to give them a bad rep, and not actually him. He's a very manipulative character. That is at the very least what we can get. Even if he doesn't turn out to be the main antagonist, he manipulates people. It's very obvious just by everything that his character's done so far throughout the story. I am wondering where he's going to go. What does he actually know about the world in these worlds that they're actually drifting to? But okay, let's move on. So one of the big things that this episode presents is conflict with Mizuho and how she was being blamed for these blue fires starting up throughout the episode. And I just want to do a brief talking about the character that kind of spread rumors, the glasses kid that spread rumors and got Mizuho kind of thrown under the bus. That angered me, but that's actually what happens in real life? You have someone that hears, like, a story from someone's like, oh, I saw someone standing in front of a burning tree, and instantly the person that hears this is like, oh, I was there, yeah, they burnt it and all that, and they start spreading these lies, these stories, and that's how the story distorts and gets twisted, and how, you know, people get blamed for things that they actually did not do. Just seeing the character actually do that was so realistic, I was kind of blown away, and it made me, you know, very angry. I got very, very angry by just seeing the character just continuously be like, yeah, she's this, yeah, she's definitely causing it. Yeah, she's causing these blue fires, when we know for a fact it's definitely not. It's wrong to just instantly assume, and obviously our main male character, he is in the wrong for not stepping up and really saying anything, but even then, though, just a glasses kid doing that is just like, I wouldn't be friends with someone like that. I would not be friends with anyone that goes to that extreme to kind of start spreading lies and rumors to people, acting like they were actually there to see it. But then, also Mizuho and how she was cornered, and because of her emotions and being cornered, she rained money down on the entirety of the island, and it just straight up started burning. And this kind of led to a revelation of how the blue fires actually start. Apparently, the blue fires start thanks to compensation. Like, if you're not compensated for something, like if I hand over a piece of clothing or food or whatever, and you do not compensate me for it, like an equal exchange, then that item will burn. So basically, thievery is not possible. You cannot steal from people in this world. If you try to steal, it's just gonna burn, and you'll be caught. That's the big detail. But another thing, too, is we get to see another example of how certain things can be given to people without actually compensation. Because at the end, Mizuho gave our main male character a hat, and he's like, wait, I need to compensate you, but she's like, no, it's for a treat on me. Which basically implies that, like, here, I'm just giving it to you, don't worry about it, you know, it's just for, you know, a good, you know, will towards you. And I wonder if that's another exception to the rules. If you actually, you know, actually say that. If you say, like, yeah, you know, it's my treat. Yeah, I'm just giving it to you. Don't worry about it. If the world will allow that and not burn said object. So this goes back to the overall thing of you need proper compensation and you can't actually be a thief. There's a lot of things about this that is building up, and I do wonder what direction that Studio Madhouse wants to take the story, because it's very unique so far. Which, another thing, too, I do need to mention is also what's next for the story. So, our main female character, she apparently is able to see lights in the sky, and she is basically a human compass. She's able to know where the next world, the destination is, to get back to where they once were. And this kind of explains why she was constantly acting like that throughout the first episode, why she's like, oh, you don't see that? And then eventually she wound up dragging everybody to this whole new world. So it does imply that she knew that they were going somewhere else, but she didn't. So she's going to be the main lead that kind of leads us on to the next location, and I feel like our main male character has another ability that we're unaware of, which will be revealed in due time. But for now, though, I think that the next world that potentially could happen, I feel like it might be alien or something. I don't know. I feel like as we continue to journey, we're going to encounter some very bizarre and weird things, like an alien-like world. And I do hope we do get something like that. I'd love to see them go to like a completely different world, or, you know, even a game-like setting, because technically anything can happen. From what we found out so far, they can go to different worlds, things that are disconnected from the original reality. So, I mean, they can go into a virtual reality game. Who really knows? I'm just saying, a lot of unique stuff. Sonny Boy is definitely ramping up, and I feel like there's so much potential here to be easily the dark horse of Summer of Anime 2021, and I can't wait. I hope it continues to stay like it is, like quality, great voice acting, great characterization, development, mystery. I hope it stays like that, because so far, it's good. It's got a lot of lessons, too, underlying themes as well, especially with, like, you know, the cat to the bird and all that. There's a lot of things that you can really take away from the story. But I guess I'm gonna, you know, leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. And if you like this video, please leave a like. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you felt about this week's episode of Sonny Boy. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Are you gonna stop watching it? Are you gonna continue watching it? Like I said, let me know. But with that, guys, be safe. Chibi out.